Hey there, Hofstra fans, and welcome to the WB Mason Coaches Report right here on GoHofstra.com. And we're joined each and every week by the head coach of the Hofstra Pride Wrestling Program, Coach Dennis Papadatos. Coach, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good, and glad you're here. But Mr. Sport Director Mark, we'll see you soon again.
I can't be Mark, but I will try my best. Let's look at this past weekend. You have the 19-16 loss out in the city to the Binghamton Bearcats. Just your thoughts on this past weekend?
Oh, obviously not happy. You know, as to quote a good friend, Joe Mahalik, we've had a lot of good weeks, we had a bad week, and many more weeks to go. So I just read that before I came up here and I liked it. So just, you know, obviously not happy. Wasn't happy with our performance. Binghamton came ready. They came ready to compete. They scouted us really hard. It was obvious, and they did everything they can in every match to do what they needed to do, and they did. And that's what I told my guys that bothered me the most. That Binghamton's a good team. They're better than they were last year. Not to put them down. I feel like we're better than them. Before the year started, and I said, and the guys were like, we try to preach that we want to be tough. And I said, so we preached that we're tough, and we were better than them, but yet, not only did they out-tough us, they beat like they deserved the win. And that's what bothered me the most. Not that Binghamton did what they needed to do, that we didn't do what we needed to do back to take the win from them. And, I was a little grumpy in the letdown, but, for whatever reason, we look flat. I'm still trying to figure out if that's my fault, or sometimes you're just flat, you did nothing wrong. And by my fault, I mean, did we do something that maybe, enabled us to be flat? I don't know. I don't think we did, but it's a possibility, and I keep going, brainstorming the whole week. And but for whatever reason, we look flat. It could be that just time of year. Guys are getting ready. We start, school next week, and who knows what it is, but we were flat, and we need to correct it. And there's many good days ahead, and the good news is, we lost 19-16 on a couple maybe controversial calls, easily winnable matches that we could have won, not firing anywhere near on all our cylinders, and we still almost pulled out the win against a pretty good team. So I guess that's a positive to take out of it.
Well, just breaking down the match more, you're up 13-3 at one point after the 149 with Cody. Just what happened after that point with the following 6 matches after that? What do you think happened?
Nothing. It was, people, those are matchups. I mean, we drew. Binghamton wanted to draw too because they knew we had a possibility of winning the first 7 weights. They were heavy favorites in the last 3. So they knew they didn't want to start at 25 because if we won 25 and we won 57, we could have blew them out of the water. So that's why they wanted to draw. We did draw and we drew 125. Coincidence. So, coming into the match, they were favored at 25. We were favored at 33, 41, 49, and 57. We figured 65 was a toss-up. 74 was kind of a toss-up, even though they beat us in that match early in the year was by a point. They kind of went opposite directions. I think they viewed it as a toss-up as well. I didn't really view 57 as a toss-up, it was ours. 84, 97, they were heavy favorites. And heavyweight was definitely their favorite, but they knew that we could pull it out, but it was their favorite. So if you look at all the matchups, they won a toss-up with 65, we won a toss-up with 57. We won 3 of our 4 matches. They won all 4 of theirs, and they snuck one of ours, and that was the difference of the 2 weeks. So coming into it, I expected, even if we lost 25, I was expecting that Jamel would get a major. I knew we would win in 33. So I was expecting to be 13-3 after 49, and I was expecting to be 16-3 because Jelani would win, and that's what kind of set it off. And then they won, like I said, nothing else happened that wasn't really supposed to on paper. They scouted well, and they pulled out the win. So by no means was I like, it's all going according to plan. It was more like, okay, we still got to win 57. We got to win one of the 65s or 74s, and we're going to be okay. And we're going to win 57.
And Cody came back. He missed 2 matches. He wins by fall. We know the importance that Cody has to this program, but I guess I would ask, what does he mean in practice to the younger guys? What does Cody mean having him back?
I mean, he's consistent. Cody's interesting, man. He can not do anything for a week, and then he comes in and he goes through practice like he didn't miss a day. He's got some pretty good genetics with his wind and things like that, and running. So Cody's a 5th-year senior. When he sits, I don't mind it as much. It's pretty good to keep his body at rest if he has to sick his injury. But the guys like having him back because he's almost like that security blanket. You know what I mean? So guys like when he's around. Guys like when he's in the room. Even though he's quiet, kind of does his own thing, you want to look over your shoulder and see him there. And believe me, when the matchups start, I definitely want to see his name in my lineup. So
And Frank Affronti, the redshirt sophomore, he's won 7 of his past 8 matches. Just what have you seen from Affronti these past few weeks?
He's believing more, he's getting confident, and he's looking more, be more offensive, and he looks better. But that's just, and that's been the story of us a little bit. Jelani was on fire, and now he's lost 2 in a row against 2 good kids. But the Binghamton kid, we beat 12-5 at the New York State tournament. He shouldn't have made that big of a jump on us. I thought the kid was good from Binghamton. I was worried about the match, but I didn't think the kid could beat us, I'll be honest, even though I knew they would scout it well. So Frank is, he's hot right now, and he's looking well, and we got to keep him there. And, that's part of our problem as a program. One guy gets hot, and then someone else doesn't, you know what I mean? So, like, when Frank was looking sluggish, Jelani was looking good. Now, all of a sudden, I don't know if Jelani looks sluggish. He's running into some tough competition, and Jelani has 2 good matches coming up. Both kids he's wrestling are good in the next 2 matches. So, but not to change the subject, Frank's looking good. Frank believes, and he's getting to his offense, and he's hard to score on, and hopefully we keep him firing on all cylinders going into March.
Now looking at Michael Hughes in the heavyweight, he faced another ranked opponent, lost 3-1. It's something that you've brought up to me in the past is Hughes going up against some of the ranked opponents. How do you feel he handled himself this past week?
He actually he should have won that match. He out-wrestled the kid. He looked better, didn't do enough. I mean, when I say that, the ref didn't take it from him. The kid didn't even take it from him. Mike kind of took it from himself. Wasn't sure if he fully believed. He's got to get a little more physical. Mike easily could have won that match. That kid was trying to hold on, and Mike did not bring it to him, so he gave the kid an opportunity to hold on. I would have been interested to know what would have happened if Mike really pushed the place and started getting on him to see what would have happened. But we won't know. Hopefully we'll find out at the IWA tournament.
And then coming up this next weekend, you have American and Columbia back into the city EIWA matchups. What can we see from American and Columbia?
Obviously, there'll be some important matches. Columbia just beat Binghamton on Sunday after we lost to Binghamton. 1916. Columbia beat them 1918. So, like I said, it's all about matchups. We'll see. I believe we match up pretty well against Columbia. American not as well, but we'll see. We should be. I think we're the better team, so we should come out 2-0. And we really got to focus on winning our matchups that are important. Jelani has 2 tough matches, and he just comes off the top of my head. 2 kids that have beaten him in the past, and so we're gonna have to do what we can to start winning those, so we have those accolades on our record when we start going into the conference tournament.
And Coach, what are the keys to this weekend?
As I tell everyone, I'm not Chicken Little. The sky ain't falling. I got no quit in me, and we went right back to practice yesterday and today, consistent, doing the same things we do all the time, consistent effort in everything we got to bring forward, consistent effort in what we do, consistent belief in what we do, and we'll be okay because what we do works, and it will work, and the plan is to peak at the EIWAs and Nationals.
He's the head coach of the Hofstra Pride Wrestling Program, head coach Dennis Papadatos. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, man.
I'm Nick Velasco. You've been listening to the WB Mason Coaches Report right here on GoHofstra.com.